G'day, mate, and welcome to Friday Facts 347, New Hope demo levels, and I also have a New Hope mojo. Hey, mate.
Hi.
So, this Friday Facts, we're going straight to the bottom. We're going to start at the bottom again, because that's simple.
You're going to do, what do they call it, like a Dutch reading? Start from the bottom and work your way up?
No idea, we're going to do it in reverse, okay? This is easy, this is simple. Bots throw cliff explosives. That's it, okay? Recently we made some improvements to cliff explosive effects. However, one thing we missed was that bots needed to be updated separately due to the different logic to create explosions. Well, it's an easy fix, copy and paste some Lua definitions. It felt like it's treating the symptom rather than treating the cause. It's good to have the same, it's not good to have the same thing defined in two different places. And pretty much bots now throw explosives.
The animation says it all, the bot.
Yeah.
The bot just no expression, just a complete expressionless. One swans up and just throws a cliff explosive. Doesn't even look at the explosive. It's already leaving.
Yeah, bot don't care. Bot don't care.
Bot don't care about that cliff. He don't care about that explosive. His job's done. He's going home.
Yeah, look, the only thing I want to say is it's a little bit sad because we're on bot speed like number 1, probably number 3. He's pretty slow still. And it looks like he's giving it a really good throw to make that distance. I figure at bot speed 7, it's like, flies up, lets go of explosive, turns around, flies the other way, and you can just see the explosive just take that arc down to the cliff.
Get it up to bot speed 20 and he's already home again by the time the cliff explodes.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially if you start using some of the modded bots, they zoom. So yeah, the old behavior, in case you don't turn on cliffs, because I fully understand that you don't turn on cliffs, was the bot
don't let friends turn on cliffs.
The bot would hover over the cliff for a little bit and then drop the explosive on it. It was pretty boring. It was pretty disappointing. But yeah, they fixed the issue, hopefully for good, and it looks a lot cooler, which I 100% agree with. So that's the easy part of the Friday Facts.
That's the easy part out of the way.
Then we have New Hope demo levels. So we had the first player experience, which, well, they half released something, and they're like, we're going to expand on this, and then we're going to scrap this, and then we've gone back to what we had in the demo version from version 7, 12 through to 15, somewhere there.
I have no idea when these scenarios came into play. I think it might have been even 10 or something.
They've been there for a long time. The chances are you've played these. The chances are it was such a horrible experience that you've just deleted it from your memory forever because...
it was a good enough experience at the time because this would have been around 2015, 2014 to 2016 for most people, and we had lower standards back then.
Yeah, we did have lower standards back then, but like they I don't know. There's no good way of putting it. They were lower standard experiences. They did the job at the time. They obviously needed more spit and polish, and yeah, some people have got fond memories of them. I've seen a lot of people in the last 2 years play these, stream the demo, and just get absolutely frustrated with it. And the worst thing is, like, they've had times like when they hired out a hall or whatever, and they had 50 new players come in and try the game, and for this conference, that conference, they've been the fly on the wall for many players playing for the first time. And I don't understand why they're using it. But they did publish 5 weeks ago that they were going to bring back the New Hope games, New Hope campaign levels, and specifically the abandoned rail base / broken rail map.
Fun map.
It is one of the better maps, and it seems the community really enjoyed the New Hope campaign levels. Nostalgia, I think, was probably be a better answer for me. I didn't really enjoy them, but they do have a lot of nostalgia.
Fundamental problems at the time when I played it, like figuring out how to place the train stops so the trains would actually go to them. Figuring out which way is forward on a train was a big problem on that one.
Oh, it's a double-headed train, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to have the locos on both sides, but it drives both ways in manual, so it's not clear to people. And also, when I played it, the train stops didn't have the arrow, so you didn't know which way around the train stop needed to be.
No, and now at least you have the arrows. So if you put a train stop beside a train stop beside a train track, at least you get the arrows on the track which indicate which way the train stop is expecting the train to run, which is something that we didn't used to have. So it's one of those small quality of life things that do improve inherently this tutorial and every other aspect of Factorio. But yeah. So
And just to be clear, this was with the old train graphics as well, where you couldn't tell which way was forward and reverse like you can with the current.
oh no, the old ones looked like a dead set. Look up like I don't know for the rest of the world, but if you look up a Australian coal freight wagon, it's square at both ends. Right? These are not aerodynamically designed because they haul freight, right? And they're square because they don't go fast. And
they're also imported from the US.
Oh well, there you go. Actually, no, we used to make them locally. Used to. I think
Most of them were imports.
I think we import them from China now.
But I don't know for Sydney or New South Wales. I say Sydney like it is New South, but I digress. That Sydney thinks it is New South Wales.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. That's true.
I know a lot of stuff here was all US, some British stuff.
No, a lot of trains were actually making locally up until 2 years ago, where they shut down the local factories. Right. But yeah, look, the trains are square. Okay, they're square at both ends in Factorio. What, 14 is when they changed? They changed them for 15. The rails, didn't they?
The rail graphic changed in 15. The rail overhaul to the current train stops and the train graphics was
15, 16.
15 was the train, the actual rail graphics changing from those god awful ones that were.
Hey! We were all perfectly happy with those god awful ones until we were shown something better, and then you go back and look at the old ones. You're like, why did we ever put up with that? But anyway, that's beside the point. We've digressed so much already. So. Popular demand. We've decided to bring back the favourites. The first 2 levels of the New Hope campaign. This time, though, they will also be included in the demo version of the game. This represents a significant increase in scope for the demo, increasing the demo content to include research, red science, green science, trains, and much more. So we have level 4 science and automation. This mission is continuation of the demo mission 3, where you build radars to scan surrounding area. You start with a small factory already operational. The radar detects the distress beacon. You must build a car to get there before the signal dissipates. This level introduces labs and science packs, as well as providing a first real taste of automation. So this is really, really basic, but from memory, you have to research engines and build a car. From memory.
Yeah, that was what it was, and you had to fill the car with a bunch of material, which is a continuous theme. You have to do that a few times.
Yeah, you have to do that a few times, and you drive off one map to the next map.
Because you start on the train map with those materials in the car.
I think. Well, we'll see. I think you drive onto. Yeah, you drive.
And there's another one where you go to this turret creep map with an even fuller boot of things.
Yeah, what happens is you drive from one area on one map to the next area, and like a automated scripted thing, at least in the past, would take over the car, like load a new map, take over the car, drive it to this spot. You get the introduction for this particular mission, and away you go. And they're not heavily scripted. They're not. But you don't have a bunch of goals you need to get. It's fairly simple in what you have to accomplish. And the other thing I'm curious about is the amount of hand-holding, because, yeah, I don't know. Tutorials need to have that right mix of explaining to you what you need to do without holding your hand.
Without saying push left or push right, and then you hit the end. Like a lot of the indie platformers these days.
Oh, look, I've just played Novartis, I think it was called. And it literally starts with like, this is how you move around, but it's 5 seconds, and I don't mind. I don't mind wasting 5 seconds on how you move. but wasting 10 minutes, which I have had other games do, on how to use the camera controls and everything else, it's like every other game. Like, don't physically tell me that I need to move the camera up, down, left, and right,
Oh, I hate that.
and then physically
we all know how to move a bloody camera these days. This isn't like 2000s.
It's physically like, press the middle mouse button to drag the mouse up and down to do this, and then left and right to do this. Like, just tell me once, okay? If I happen to do as I'm told, great. If I click the next button that you didn't present me, that's a better option, please. But yeah, okay, so we digress already. At the end of the level, you pack your supplies in the car and drive off for a location in the distress beacon. By the way, I don't think it's timed, so you can take as long as you want.
No, it's not, it wasn't timed.
Yeah, before the beacon fades out for good. So we move on to the abandoned rail base, which is the one that a lot of people have got stuck on in the past. So this starts with you pulling out the base. However, you arrive too late and the base is already destroyed. Your goal is to re-establish the science production and rebuild the rail network. And this is where you get into trains, which is, from memory, this is the base. You're getting iron brought in from a separate outpost. There's
a big patch of iron off on one side and a big patch of copper off on the other side.
Oh, yeah, there is. So you bring in both resources. And I don't think you have any resources here to get you up and started, but you've brought what you need.
There's a little bit. There's like a little bit of iron and a little bit of copper that you start with. I think I can actually see it. Yeah, you can see a little bit in the picture, but it's enough to repair the base, but you really need to get that external iron going.
Yeah. And you do have biter attacks you have to deal with, which is going to put a constraint on some of the ammo or some of the iron you're bringing in. So it's something else you have to keep in mind. But yeah, after rebuilding the railway and the mining outpost, you must provide a large number of materials to finish the level. In a level, there is a notice that this is the end, and we'd recommend playing free play next. And we're going to get back to that because that's an important line. So what's new? The main work of the last couple of weeks is bringing the ancient maps up to date with modern Factorio. For instance, now we have more specific remnants, and these ruined bases look much nicer, which they do. They look way better than what they used to.
That's actually, I think that's the thing that really gives it a step up over the old one, was that all the new remnants really add so much more to it.
Yeah, it's the old remnants. If anybody cannot remember, they just look like debris on the ground. Now,
it was just generic debris generally.
Yeah, now at least like the solar panels look like solar panels, the steam engines look like steam engines, the boilers. We're just going to ignore the boilers for the moment. Look, everything at least looks mostly what it was originally. So you can see stuff and hopefully go, oh, that's one of them, and replace it fairly easily. I have no idea why there's so many bushes inside the steam engines in that picture, but, we're just going to let that go. Obviously, it hasn't been run for quite some time. So yeah, it looks a lot better, and they've also put big effort to update the tile and map generation, make use of the new terrains, cliffs, and decoratives most effectively, which brings you to a new problem. All these maps were generated in like version 12 or 10 or 8, which is
possibly 9 or 10. I think these were.
Oh, look, it's 4 or 5 complete map generation builds ago, because that thing's been overhauled like
pretty much with every major version.
Oh, I was going with every second version, but yeah, it's been overhauled a lot. So they have a problem. They could obviously hand make everything, and personally, if I was presented with this problem, that's probably what I would have done. I just would have hand sculpted a map. But they went one step further, I guess. So they have, this is the original map from version, whatever version it was, for the actual round map. And as you can see, you got a little base in the middle, iron, yep, Mojo's right, top left, copper, bottom right. There is a little bit of copper at the starting area, and I don't see any iron. Oh, there's a bit of iron there.
Yeah, they're only teeny-weeny things.
It's enough to throw down a couple of burner miners and get yourself up and running. It is really basics. So yeah, they had a goal to recreate the gameplay of the original level, but replace the terrain with a modern one, including decoratives and cliffs. Most gameplay defining elements are the entities and water on the map. Cliffs could be as well, but those didn't exist when the level was introduced. Tiles and decoratives were just replaced, and trees were going to get close enough. Of course, a lot of things like pollution absorption numbers have changed since the level was introduced, so they won't be absolutely the same regardless. So we have a blank map, and it is what are these called? It's called lab tiles. Yes. So in Factorio, you can put down lab tiles, which is like a generic, this is a land mass, but it's not grass, it's not desert, it's not anything. It's just a blank nothing. So the first step they want to do is finding a random map seed that I want to use for this level. He did this by generating the map in free play, and he ran a take screenshot command with 2 requirements. The name of the output image was the seed of the map, so I can reproduce the image just by reading the image name. And the resolution to 1 pixel equals 1 tile, so I can easily line it at Photoshop and read the coordinates, even though Photoshop uses a different coordinate system, but at least staying in the same units helps. And he found a map that mostly fits.
Yeah, it was a pretty good result.
It is. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of water that's probably sort of in the way of where the base is and the train tracks, and that could be a little bit of a problem. And vice versa. There's water in the original map that's obviously not on this random seed map, but it's close. So yeah, he took the same resolution screenshots from the original mission and without tiles, put a random seed images on top. Having the visual preview, being able to move the image around allows me to find the desired seed and offset quickly and position it relatively precisely. Now, of course, we can't just paste the images from the original level into the random surface. There are some conflicting areas like the huge lake in the middle of the map. So he had to do some work, but it was a good starting spot to jump off from.
Yeah.
Next, he removed the unwanted lake in the middle of the resource patches. This is done by generating multiple maps with the same seed, but one without water in the starting area only. Without water, starting area only, and resources and transferring areas between them. I didn't realize there isn't an option to turn off water in the starting area, is there?
Yeah.
You can have water only in the starting area, but you can't say no water in the starting area by default.
I had to double check how to do that. I was pretty sure that was a thing.
I'm sure you possibly can, but I don't think it's presented.
It's been a while since I looked at the menu. 18 in particular, I haven't really been paying attention.
Okay, so I generate a guaranteed new community map every month, and I'm 99.5% sure, and I'm sure someone in the comments can agree with me, that in the user interface, there's no way to say no water in starting zone. Not without modding it in, but that's obviously what they've done. They've just put in a mod that says, hey, you can't have water in the starting area, because I'm willing to bet somebody with all the crazy mods that are out there, somebody has done that, right? So yeah, no water in the starting area. That gives him all landmass to copy from. Next, he adds the water from the original level. So to do that, it's quite special. The original mission, I replaced the water with concrete and then created a blueprint from it. There are better ways I could have done this, but for some reason, I didn't want to deal with the offsets in this piece of script. I already used this method in some other place earlier, so this solution came to my mind first, and it's a really good solution because
it gets the job done. Sometimes just doing something quick and dirty is easier than coming up with a whole new automated way to do it.
Look, he's only going to do it once, so if he can take all the water to convert it into concrete and then go to this new map, the only concrete on the map is going to be the concrete he's placed. So he can just, with a script, just convert all concrete back to water, done. It'd probably be all one type of water tile, but that's okay. You can get in there and manually add deep water and shallow water and all the rest of it.
I'm pretty sure it'll auto add the shallow water.
I think it auto adds, if you set it for deep water, it'll auto add the shallow water near the edges.
Near the edge, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, another script replaces all the concrete with real water. The bigger issue is the original level had water all the way to the edge of the map. You can, for example, see the sharp, hard edge on the right-hand side. The water generation changed as well. Some manual edits are in order. So again, just a little bit of manual tweaking, but it's a one-off map. It doesn't really hurt to manually fix a few things. And then, so we got a completed map with water, and it's following time to clone the original entities. I do want to point out, all through these pictures, there's this green water up here in this top corner, which you can walk through from memory. Green water you can walk through?
No, it was just as impassable unless something's changed recently.
Oh, I know there's 2 types of water that you can walk through that they added for the new player experience, which is not used in game.
Oh, that might have been the special shallow water which you could cross.
Yeah, there's a
The
shallow water and
fords.
there's 2 water terrains that you can players and biters, and more importantly, can walk across. So we have a completed map, and then he's just going to add the cloning the original entities, which means he's already got cliffs set up because that came as part of the original map generation. He's got the water pasted across. He's then got all the original entities being, the half damage base, the iron, the copper, what else? Everything. Pretty much everything. They did add a tool a long time ago, the clone area tool, which also removes entities in the destination surface. So you can actually go copy this and then paste it over here, and if there's cliffs or other things in the way, they just get destroyed. They just get removed. But he was able to go through this whole process in a single working day, thanks to all the map editor features are getting added, and Lua commands we created while working on the now cancelled campaign. Tools, experience, and knowledge are hard to cancel. And
so at least we got something out of the NPE campaign thing.
Yeah, we got the devs with more experience. I think that's really what it comes down to. More experience at making custom maps for things like campaigns that they're now not including in the game. Just saying. But we do have this GIF at the end that presents all the different stages, and it's interesting to go from one point of the map to the next point, to the next point, to the next point. But yeah, we could draw the rest. Fix places where automatic cloning hasn't been good enough, and add more ruins to be explored. Tweak the gameplay, and we'll have a finished scenario. Now the interesting thing is, when you finish this is the last one, and it prompts you to try free play.
That's the question that was coming to my mind, was that going to all this effort means that they unlock the boundary.
Going to all this effort means they have a random seed they can use. And I really hope that they just dump you onto, because again, with the clone area tool, they could clone the whole map and then go to this particular seed and paste all the clone area in as part of a scenario of clicking the button to continue to free play, and you should have a complete one-for-one copy of your game you were just doing on this random seed, which it wouldn't be random, but it'd be a random map essentially that you could play forth from. And I really hope they do that, because I think there's nothing worse than doing the first couple of demo missions, let's call them, campaign, whatever you want to call it, tutorial, getting this far, making yourself a small little train network, which is for most players really, really hard to do. Like, most players really, really struggle with trains outright. But to then scrap that and go, okay, well, here's your burner miner, your smelter, your 8 iron, your couple of bits of wood, and your pickaxe. Go start a new map. I don't think that's kind.
Oh, hang on.
Hang on.
In the animation, what's going on in the bottom left corner? It looks like another outpost appears. It's outside the boundaries.
There's iron. Yes, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like solar panels or something.
Okay.
There's actually more stuff that appears outside the original map as well. So maybe the original map isn't bounded, or they unlock the boundary? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so solar panels down here. There's iron. What turns out to be iron down here.
Is there something up north as well? A smaller thing that appears?
Yeah, the resolution's not high enough to actually see.
Unfortunately, it's very difficult. So we'll have to dive in and see what's going on there. This will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they do open it up, and this is the map that you have in full game. There you go. This map, have fun. Copies across anything you've done, any settings you've changed, because in theory the clone area tool should do that and leave you to it. Because that means new players, they have a starting spot to jump off from. They have biters awfully close to their base, only because this is a particular scenario, so they'll have to kill those off, and then the rest of the bases are going to be, rest of the biters are going to be a mostly significant way away. But But yeah, I'm interested what they do with it. I'm glad that they've included it as part of the demo. I do want to note it's something I only just realized today, that the demos have never included oil ever. Because
and there's a reason, because it predates oil.
No. I think there's a more important reason than that. Because people would get as far as oil and they'd never buy the game.
And then leave. Actually, I think the final one did do oil, come to think of it.
Because
Because you needed to make electric furnaces.
I can't remember. I cannot remember.
The final one where you craft the plane.
Oh, of course, because the plane's gone now.
Yeah. That was the very, very final one. Not after this one, it was the one after this one. So after the train one was the assaulting some biter bases, but then after that was the plane crafting one.
Yeah. And I can't remember what the plane did. It did something special, but I can't remember. Anyway.
It did literally nothing. It just existed in your inventory.
Yeah. You needed it for some reason. It was a quest item or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was as soon as you crafted it, the game ended.
There we go.
It went through a whole lot of other crap, and yeah.
I don't know. It's been so long since I've played these that I keep meaning to go back and have a look at them, and I'm just like, yeah.
Needing and wanting are two different things.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm keen to see what comes of this.
I am keen to see if
yeah,
what comes of this. Like, I might skip the first few just because I just don't want to. I don't know. Maybe I'll open up a stream and do it because I keep saying that and it never happens. But yeah, this will be the final one leading to 1.0, and they're not going to tweak anything anymore. This should be released the next couple of weeks, they say. So we will see. These levels should be ready within a week, but no promises. So you go. Within a week, which probably means they're going to miss the Tuesday, and they're going to aim for the Tuesday after that, and they're probably going to miss that one, so the Tuesday after that. So right around Friday Facts, 3:49-ish is what I expected. But yeah, we'll see. I still haven't played the Rocket Rush scenario that got included along the way. And there's lots of ones I mean to play and I haven't got around to because time, and especially when it comes to these, a little bit of I don't know, buyer's remorse is the wrong word, but it sort of has that feeling. I don't want to. I don't want to go back and re-experience all these horrible regress memories of the New Hope demos, the early ones, of how bad they were. Like with the trains where you couldn't work out which way was forward and backward.
Upside down and left and right, and the train stops.
Yeah. Like, I know it's all been improved for, since because of just base Factorio things, but just... It brings back memories, and none of them are good. Anyway, I think that's it for this Friday Facts. Yes, no?
That's about it, yes.
Okay, so thank you guys for watching. As always, we'll see you guys next week for Friday Facts 348. On top of that, eventually one of us will play the New Hope demo. Maybe Mojo will end up streaming it over on Twitch. His link is down in the description. You should definitely go watch it. Now,
either of that, I'm going to play that, or I'm just going to do more Factorio.
Yeah, that, or like, more importantly now, he's got a face cam, so you can find out what a Mojo looks like. Anyway, with that said, I'm out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.